The moment didn't begin with touch. It began with silence. That kind of silence that feels heavy, like the air itself is holding its breath. If you've ever been in a room where something unspoken is about to happen, you know exactly what I mean. Before we go any further, pause for just 1 second. If you enjoy stories that pull you in slowly, stories that don't rush but make you feel, make you question, make you stay until the very end, like this video and subscribe to the channel right now. It's free. It takes 1 tap, and it helps more than you realize. You don't want to miss what comes next. Now let me take you back to the moment everything quietly changed. The air felt charged, almost alive. I could feel his attention without needing to look. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't hungry. It was focused, steady in a way that made my skin warm before he ever touched me. He had always been like that. Controlled, thoughtful, the kind of man who never crossed a line unless he was certain it was welcome. But this time, something was different. When I finally turned and met his eyes, I didn't see curiosity anymore. I saw decision. I lifted my fingers barely an inch. A small movement. Anyone else would have missed it. But he didn't. He never did. That was all the permission he needed. His breath caught, just slightly. His posture shifted, like his body had been waiting for confirmation before allowing itself to move. Then he stood. Not fast, not slow, intentional. He drew me closer, and the world seemed to narrow until there was nothing else but the space between us closing. Every shared breath grounded me. Every subtle movement left warmth in its wake. Time didn't disappear, it stretched. I remember thinking how strange it was that closeness could feel so quiet and so powerful at the same time. "Don't stop," I whispered, barely louder than a thought. The tension softened, not because it vanished, but because it settled. I rested against him fully, and he exhaled long, steady as if he'd been holding more inside than he ever admitted. We stayed like that for a while, no rush, no need to fill the silence. His touch traced absent patterns, familiar but thoughtful. His breathing slowed against me, calm and even, but something underneath it all felt different. I turned slightly, studying him. "You're quiet," I said. He gave a soft laugh. "Just thinking." I smiled, letting my fingertips wander lightly, paying attention to things most people overlook. The smallest hesitation, the slightest pause. I noticed it. "That was good," I said gently. He agreed, and I curled closer, letting the moment breathe. And then almost casually I asked the question that would follow me for weeks. "Have you ever thought about making it even better?" His breath changed instantly. Better? We had always shared a sense of adventure, a mutual understanding that comfort didn't mean stagnation. But this was new ground. I held his gaze. "What if we went a little further?" He stiffened, just for a second. It was subtle, but I felt it. And instead of pushing me away, it pulled my curiosity tighter. "Come on," I teased softly. "I know you've thought about it." There was a pause, the kind where you can hear someone choosing their words carefully because they matter. "There is something," he finally said, his voice low. My pulse quickened. "Tell me." He hesitated again, then met my eyes fully. "I want to see you experience something different." "Different?" I echoed. "Yes," he said, "but not another man." The space between us felt heavier now. Electric. A woman. The idea settled slowly, like a weight and a spark all at once. I didn't answer right away. I couldn't. I wasn't sure if the warmth in my chest was nerves, fear, or something I wasn't ready to name. So I asked for time. And time gave the idea power. It followed me everywhere. In quiet moments, in ordinary routines, in places where it should have faded, but didn't. What should have been easy to dismiss refused to leave. Curiosity crept in slowly, persistently. It wasn't just about the idea itself. It was about imagining his expression, wondering what it would unlock between us. Would it change us? Would it change me? Those questions lingered, pressing against the edges of something that felt dangerously close to excitement. What if I liked it too much? What if it revealed something I couldn't put back once I saw it? And yet, beneath the doubt was a quiet thrill. He wanted this. And if I was honest with myself, I wanted to understand why. By the time I decided, the hesitation had softened. I didn't know the details yet. I didn't know how it would unfold. But I knew this much. It wasn't just his fantasy anymore. It was becoming mine. The days that followed blurred together. Every glance carried new meaning. Every casual touch felt intentional. I wasn't just agreeing, I was choosing. And when everything was finally arranged, nerves gave way to anticipation. The kind that hums just beneath the surface, making ordinary moments feel charged. That morning, I traced light patterns across his arm as he slept. "I need you home by 8 tonight," I said softly. "No questions, just trust me." He smiled, half awake, curiosity flickering behind his eyes. "What's happening at 8? You'll see." He didn't push. He never did. Evening arrived faster than I expected. I met him at the door, calm on the surface, anticipation buzzing underneath. I took his hand and led him down the hall. The door head stood slightly open. Light spilled out, warm and deliberate. The moment we stepped inside, the atmosphere shifted. She was there, composed, confident, as if she belonged in that space. His reaction was immediate, though restrained. He wasn't just looking, he was processing. Her presence was gentle, intentional. When she reached for me, it was tentative, respectful. I turned toward her, aware of everything and nothing at once. The connection built slowly, guided by glances and unspoken understanding. I knew he was watching. I didn't need to turn around to feel it. Time slowed. Emotion layered over emotion. And when I finally met his eyes again, I reached for him, not demanding, just inviting. The shift was instant. The room seemed to breathe with us. His gratitude didn't need words. It settled deep. He didn't speak right away. He didn't need to. The look in his eyes told me everything: gratitude, disbelief, and something deeper that settled quietly into his chest. The kind of feeling that doesn't explode, but anchors itself. She remained calm, steady, never forcing the moment. That mattered more than I realized then. There was no rush, no pressure to turn curiosity into something louder. Everything unfolded at its own pace, guided more by trust than by impulse. I became aware of how present I felt, not overwhelmed, not swept away, just aware of myself, of them, of the space we shared. At some point, words stopped making sense, not because there was nothing to say, but because everything that mattered was already understood. Time lost its edges, and when it finally ended, it didn't end dramatically. There was no sharp drop back into reality, just a gentle return, breathing, slowing, heartbeats settling, the weight of the moment resting softly around us. We stayed there longer than expected. Still, quiet, processing. He was the first to speak. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice low, careful. I turned toward him and smiled. Not the polite kind, the honest one. The kind that comes from somewhere deep and unguarded. "I'm more than okay." He studied my face, searching for hesitation, doubt, anything that might tell him this had been a mistake. He didn't find it. "Happy?" he asked softly. I didn't answer right away. I let the question sit, let myself feel the truth before naming it. "More than you know." That surprised him, and I realized then that the moment hadn't just been about crossing a line. It had been about trust, about choosing honesty over fear, curiosity over silence. Some desires stay hidden forever because we're afraid of what they might change. But what if the thoughts we're most afraid to voice are the very ones meant to teach us something about ourselves? Later that night, after everything had quieted again, we lay side by side. Familiar, comfortable, changed but not broken. If anything, clearer. He reached for my hand, lacing his fingers through mine the way he always had. "Thank you," he said, "for trusting me." I squeezed his hand. "Thank you," I replied, "for trusting me enough to ask." And that was the truth. It wasn't about saying yes. It was about being brave enough to talk about the question in the first place. Some people live their whole lives carrying secret wishes they never dare to share. They wonder, what if, but never allow themselves to find out. So I'll ask you this. Have you ever held a thought you were certain should stay buried? A question you never thought you'd say out loud? And if you did, what happened when you finally did? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. If this story made you feel something, hit the like button. It helps the channel more than you realize. Share it with someone who understands the weight of unspoken thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe with notifications on, because the next story might be the one that stays with you long after it ends. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one. And to you, if you ever offered her something you believed she'd never accept, what would you feel the moment she looked you in the eyes and whispered yes? Let me know.